Third major of the season arrives on the PGA Tour this week. We're teeing off Thursday at Torrey Pines. It's where Tiger won this tournament on one leg. Can you believe that was already 13 years ago? DraftKings contributor Geoff Ulrich. Can you believe that?
I actually can't. It seems like it was just, a few years ago. But yeah, I don't know, maybe just getting old, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, you weren't even born yet. So tell me if the following odds are too high, so too long, or too low, which is too short. So Jon Rahm has been cleared to return. We all remember what happened last time on that record-setting pace. Was told he can't play anymore because he tested positive for coronavirus, but all happy and healthy now. Plus 1050, the favorite at the U.S. Open. In your opinion, why is he the favorite?
I mean, he's the favorite because the last time we saw him, Emerson, he was dusting, an elite field of young golfers by 6 shots after 3 rounds. I mean, the dude got to 18 under at the Memorial, and I mean, like the winner of the event got to 13 under. I mean, it was a ridiculous performance we saw Jon Rahm put on at the Memorial. And this was all apparently with being infected with COVID, which is a whole other conversation. But regardless, Jon Rahm's last time we saw him was maybe the best golf we've seen from an elite. It was the best golf we've seen in 2021, quite frankly. So you have that stuck in your mind. And then you have the fact that Jon Rahm has basically made Torrey Pines his playground when he's gone there, winning there on debut in 2017, which basically never happens. I mean, rookies just don't do well at Torrey Pines. Jon Rahm obviously also finished runner-up there in 2020 to Mark Leishman. This is just a player who loves tough golf courses. This is a player who looks like he's at the height of his game. And I think that the only reason we're even getting him at double digits, at plus 1,000 as opposed to like plus 800, is the fact that he's gone on this little hiatus because of COVID. So I think these odds are very fair, quite frankly. Definitely deserves to be the favorite. And it's a very fine. If you're just looking to take a shot with one guy at the top of the board, this is certainly where I would land.
Yeah, went T5 and T8 in his first 2 majors of the year, but really was never a threat to win either one. All right, let's get to Bryson D Shambo, plus 1,500. Those odds too long or too short here? What do you think?
I would say these ones are about just right, if we're being dead honest. I mean, look, Bryson doesn't quite have the form that Jon Rahm does, but, it's not like he's coming in off of 5 missed cuts or something. This is a dude who finished T18 his last time out at Memorial. He's been sort of hovering around leaderboards, looking good at times. The putting's fine. The short game has looked okay as well. I mean, I don't think Bryson is very far off at all. And quite frankly, every time you put Bryson on a U.S. Open course, like, if you're getting plus 1,500 long term, it's probably going to be a good bet. This is a player who's essentially molded his game to become like the best U.S. Open style player in the world, up there with like guys like Brooks Koepka and Dustin Johnson. He dominates off the tee, which is what you have to do at Torrey Pines. The only thing that's kind of got me off him is he really doesn't have much West Coast success. He's missed a couple cuts at the Farmers. I don't think he's ever made the cut at Torrey Pines. He doesn't really have a signature West Coast win. It all leads me to believe, again, I'd rather just take the shorter odds on Jon Rahm. But really, realistically, like I said, if you're taking plus 1,500 on Bryson at a U.S. Open, most years, that's going to be a profitable side. So I don't think these odds are off at all. I think these are very fair odds. But again, I would probably rather side with Rahm in this situation.
Yeah, and on the surface, I know Torrey Pines does have some similarities with Winged Foot, where he won last year. Let's go to his arch rival here. Let's go to Brooks Koepka, plus 1,900. How do you feel about these odds?
I mean, Brooks' odds have been skyrocketing a little bit. He missed the cut last week at the Palmetto Championship. And again, plus 1,900, we're starting to see Brooks's odds inflate. So it's Brooks Koepka. It's a U.S. Open. This is a player who's absolutely dominated the PGA Championships and the U.S. Open. We saw what happened when everyone started to underrate him, just forget about him at the PGA, just popped up again. I don't know. I just feel like I would still rather see like plus 2,000 or higher on Brooks to take a shot. He's clearly not at the height of his powers. Now, Brooks Koepka at 85% at a U.S. Open, like legitimately he can win. He can absolutely win. We saw him almost do it at the PGA Championship. He's another player similar to Bryson, hasn't really had a ton of success at Torrey Pines. I'm not as worried about that with Brooks. I think if you do see these odds perhaps get into the plus 2,500 range by the end of the week, that would be a lot more appealing, obviously. And that's probably where I would decide to take a shot with him. But I think plus 19, it sounds strange. It's probably a little bit short just for where Brooks is in his recovery in his game right now.
Yeah, I think one of these days we'll essentially learn to like ignore his results in non-majors, right?
It's true. It's probably what we should do. But
And he also missed the cut the week before the PGA Championship. Let's keep that in mind. That
yep,
ended up a-okay.
almost winning.
Yep, almost winning. Patrick Cantley, dude, plus 2,200. Too long, too short.
Yeah, and this is, guys like Cantley in this plus 20 plus 2000 range. It's kind of why I'd rather be out on Brooks, because I'm really in on Patrick Cantley this week. I think plus 2,200 is fine. This is a player who, again, obviously won his last time out, but you've seen with Cantley, he obviously went through a little dip. He missed 4 cuts in a row, but if you look at the parts of time when he was making cuts, he's been absolutely dominant this year. I mean, tee to green, he's been immaculate. When he gets the putter rolling, this is an absolutely dangerous player. And I just feel like this is a player, again, his result at the PGA Championship T23 doesn't look that good, but he was in contention late Sunday. He had a late triple bogey there to push him out of the top 10. Or we might even be seeing like plus 1,800, plus 1,500 on Patrick Cantley right now. This guy was absolutely dominant at Memorial on another tough golf courses. I think his game is well built for the U.S. Open. He's great around the greens. I think he's a better around the greens player than some of these other young players like a Colin Morikawa, and I think he has an edge there. And I think Torrey Pines might play to that strength. A West Coast guy. I love these odds. I really like Patrick Cantley this week. Anything above plus 2,000, I think you're getting a good deal.
Yeah, he's been a trendy pick too at the majors like the past few years, especially this year's Masters. Colin Morikawa, dude, plus 2,500. What do you think?
I said I like this range, and this is why I can't speak too highly about Capka or Bryson, in those teen ranges, because you've got a guy like Morikawa here who. Colin Morikawa is hitting his irons better than anyone in the world. He's the best iron player in the world. That's not me being exaggerating or anything like that. This dude's gained plus 6.8 strokes or more against the field in his last 4 starts. His ball striking is absolutely immaculate. Does he suffer from a slight lack of distance at the U.S. Open? Yes. We've seen guys like Mark Leishman, Patrick Reed win at Torrey Pines without, a monster game off the tee, though. And I just don't think that it affects Morikawa as much. He hits enough fairways. He's just so good with his long irons that it doesn't matter. So these are more than fair odds on Colin Morikawa. Again, you could almost, unless you're deciding to take a bet on Jon Rahm, starting your card with like Cantley and Morikawa, that you're getting good value. And quite frankly, this is where we see the winner of the U.S. Open come in these shorter odds. So I would definitely recommend, if you're putting out like a full U.S. Open outright betting card, maybe going like 4 or 5 guys, Morikawa and Cantley, they'd be at the top of my list, 100%. I think these are ridiculous odds for a guy who's, won 4 times now as a pro already. He's already got a major. He just keeps getting discounted in the odds. I think value-wise, this is probably the best you're going to do in this plus 2,000 range.
Bring us home here with Hideki Matsuyama, plus 4,650.
Yeah. I know, just disrespected, it feels like, with Hideki.
Yeah.
I mean, this dude won a major a couple months ago. He was actually around the leaderboard around halfway at the PGA Championship too. His tee to green game hasn't slowed down a bit. The lack of West Coast success for Hideki, I guess, is what has brought this number down. He has played okay at Torrey Pines. He was top 5 there one year, the year Justin Rose won. So we have seen him do it. With Hideki, it all comes down to the putter. If he figures out these greens early, he's quite frankly, he's going to be in the mix. I think these odds are very, very fair. If you're looking to add one player in the 4K range, this is probably where I would go. It sounds strange to see here, Hideki Matsuyama might win 2 majors in a year, but this is just a pure value proposition here. You've got guys like Tony Finau, in the plus 3,000 range or around there. They just don't deserve to be this much shorter than Hideki Matsuyama, who again has already proven he can win a major, has won at long, tough classic golf courses before. So these are very good odds, quite frankly, on Hideki this week.